Hello, and thank you for watching this video. My name is Sergio Siles. Some of you might know me, some of you don't, but I'm very happy today to share this video with you for the ICBES 2021. The reason why I decided to do a little different video is because I think there are many things that are relevant to be shared that maybe in one video will be hard to capture it. So I just decided to do something different. I hope that you don't get bored, but I will try to be brief and make sure that you guys understand where we're headed, not only as CRES, but also in representation of Costa Rica's butterfly breeders, which we have always represented in the best way possible. And I think that that's the idea, that all of you should know what is happening after 2 challenging years, and not only here, but everywhere around the world. Okay. So this presentation, again, is going to be short, but I hope that you find it very useful. So just for those of you who don't know much about CRES, I will just play a short video here. CRES, or Costa Rican Entomological Supply, is a company that started in 1984. We have been dedicated ourselves and call ourselves a social enterprise dedicated to export butterfly pupae from Costa Rica to everywhere around the world. Again, started in 1984. It's been over 37 years that Maria and Joris, very known people for some of you, started this business with the intention of bringing jobs to many people in Costa Rica that had no idea that business and butterfly exports was something feasible. And after 3 decades, we have been able to establish CRES as a leader supplier, shipping our pupae over 25 countries every week, over 65 different species. And thanks to the breeders that are really the important element of our company. As some of you know, CRES, what we export every week is 100% pupae coming from our breeders. We do not have our own farm. We really rely 100% on the breeders' production, which is something that we feel very proud, because this is why the main intention of Joris and Maria was to really bring the benefit of this activity to the breeders of the country and make it something that is feasible for everyone around the country. So we have been doing this, as I said, for 37 years after passing this challenging 2021 and 2020. But we hope that in the coming months, things get back to some type of stability, and I will be sharing that in the coming slides as well. Okay, that's a quick intro of who we are, what we do, and how we do it. This is just another picture. We took it, in fact, this morning just to make it very fresh. But this is just to show you that here we are. This is our staff. Some of these faces might be familiar to you from pictures that we have shared at other times, but basically the ones in white is part of the driving and well, the driving team. We have, well, if I start from left to right, we have one of our accountant folks, Melvin, who recently came back to CRES after having a change in his career. He's been very useful and helpful for us, again, with a lot of experience. He was part of CRES about maybe 6-7 years ago, but he's back with us. Then you have Jesus, who is one of our drivers. He's one of those that big guys that have been here for over 30 years working with us. In fact, I think it's 35 years that he has been around here doing a lot of, pretty much driving every day, every week, at least once or twice a week to visit our breeders. So he's a very knowledgeable guy, very known for many of our breeders. Then you have Ili, right next to Jesus, and Maureen, that I think that those are the two ladies that you most interact with. Again, the two magicians of this show, who are always getting your orders, preparing clients' orders, working with the breeders, making sure we get the pupa we need every day, and at the same time coordinating with airlines, making sure the shipments arrive on time, processing your losses. So that's really the whole show that Ili and Mao process. Myself in the middle, and then the next three are Minor, who is also a new driver we had to hire after our previous driver retired from CRES after spending over 28 years with us. And so Tony has left, and now we have Minor Donald, who is also part of the finance team, and Miguel on the rightmost is our farm manager. He's also in charge of the property we are in, which used to be a big property dedicated to butterfly farming, but we have now just beautiful gardens that we like to keep available for our neighbors and for ourselves. So he is a great help to keep this place running. And the front row is 5 of our packers. In fact, for this picture, we missed 2, but these are the ladies that are always dedicated to inspect your pupae, make sure that it's put in the best place possible, and ensuring that the boxes get there also in the best shape possible. So you have Nidia, Vero, Cinia, Marcel, Anita, and Sandra. So we're missing 2 in the picture because today we have a low export day. We couldn't bring everyone here, but this is a good reflection on about who we are and how ready we are to face next year. And I think that this is part of the essence of our company. And if we move about the breeders, to talk about the breeders, well, I would like to start again saying that they are very thankful with the effort and the grants that ICBES was able to give, and all of you members of ICBES, I think should be proud and should communicate this to your visitors. They were very thankful. Some of them, I have to say, that didn't know about ICBES. Maybe this is something that we as suppliers should do a much better job communicating to which forums and to which associations we belong to. But they were very happy. These are just a few pictures of that time where they received the grants. And again, they were very thankful, not only these folks that you see in the picture, but everyone in here. And I think that this was a winning move for ICBES to be positioned in front of the breeders, and something that we need to explore further again on to see how we can keep communication with them. As part of that work that we did, I think that one of the most also important benefits was to realize that we have about 100, no more than 120, 130 breeders in the country. That has been one of those myths in the industry, people referring that we have over 400 people dedicated to butterfly farming. But to be honest, we did everything we could. As you might remember, we had to partner with El Bosque Nuevo and with many other exporters here in Costa Rica to get all the names, and we only found no more than 110, I believe. And again, we know that some people are coming into the business, some people are dropping, but the average number I now have in my head is 120, 150 the most, assuming that some of them didn't show up, where maybe for any particular reason, but I would say that that's the number now we have in our heads. And so to stay in touch with all of them, well, not all of them work with CRES, but right now we have about 80 of them are working with us. It has been a challenging situation, I mean, a challenge to really stay in touch with them because as you know, they are not close to where we are. You will see a map in the next slides, but there is an important distance from where we are to the location of each of the farms. So we have tried to keep in touch with them via WhatsApp messages. I have personally prepared like quarterly summaries in audio of what is happening, what could they expect, keeping them engaged, keeping them informed, making sure that they are really there and understand how critical it is for us that they don't drop their projects. Some of them were thinking about dropping their projects, and we really wanted them to stay alive and making sure that they could pass through these stormy years so that we can get out of the tunnel. So these are just pictures of the many tours that we have done over all these years. And again, it's something that we enjoy. We haven't been able to do it since 2019. Late 2019 was the last one we did. This year, I just visited a couple of cases just out of particular interest, but it has been one of the challenges and something that we expect to get back into as soon as restrictions are over and a little bit more stability is back into what we do. So, because this is just again a video of what we're missing. This is a beautiful video of one of the farms we have dedicated to only more for production. This is again, you see Gerlinde there, and Neely and other friends that came with us a few years ago when we visited this guy Donald, who is a good friend, and again a magical experience to get in an enclosure with thousands of blue morphos as part of their facility. So this is something that we missed absolutely. And this is just a very recent video of a couple of, one client that came to visit us in the middle of the pandemic, and we took it to visit one of our farmers, William, who is a very well known to many of you. And William has a beautiful enclosure with lots of species, and again, something that we truly miss enjoying more frequently. But I hope again that in the coming days, in the coming weeks, we can get back to visit them and stay more in touch with each one of these breeders. Okay. This is the map. Nothing has changed, as I have said. Some people drop temporarily. Some of them are more permanent drops, but the overall distribution of breeders around Costa Rica is the same. This is a good representation. This is only CRES breeders, again, but we work with a good number, again, of about 80 of them right now out of the 120 that might be out there. And this is the distribution, just for you to understand the importance of keeping them alive, because as the broader and better distribution there is, the more variety of species, the better quality we get, the more stable the country can be in terms of export. So this is really important, something that we feel proud that we have been able to sustain over all these years. This is the result of CRES is being the pioneer in the country of for butterfly farming, and that many other exporters have been able to rely on this network as well. But we are really the ones keeping them alive and keeping them informed, and we feel very proud of not being of having them around after all these challenging months, since we initially were very concerned that we might lose some of them. Some breeders have to or were forced to work in different or in other jobs just to bring more income to their families as the exports dropped by almost 50% in 2020. But they are still happy and with the passion necessary to keep doing this. So that's why we feel very happy to keep them around, keep them involved, and being able to move forward with them as the year pass. So that's really a quick picture of the breeders. If I have to tell you something about the country and the local challenges we might be facing in 2022, I think that these are three, I even would say that these are more global issues, not only local issues. But the economic situation in the country is a bit challenging. The local currency, our colones, have devalued by 8% over the last 3 months, something that we have never seen, or at least not in the last 10 to 15 years, according to the media. So it's something that is putting some pressure in our financials. Inflation maybe is a trend that we have to keep an eye on, as well as how much that will impact in the cost, right? As you know, we're an economy that depends a lot on US dollars, and if something changes and there is a devaluation like this, we might be suffering some inflation in the coming years. At the same time, there is an election coming. We are changing our president in March 2020, 2022, sorry. And this could impact, again, the discussions that we had already moving with the Ministry of Environment and Wildlife. As you might recall, we still have legal challenges to fix, lots of still bureaucratic processes that we have to go through to complete our exports. And this is something that might be affected by the change in the government. So this is something that we just need to adapt and deal with. And last is the vaccine pass that is also being implemented in Costa Rica next year, which we don't know how much it would impact the international tourism that might come, that might not be willing or might not be willing to face with such restrictions and new requirements to move around in a country that is very relaxed and not used to this type of restrictive passes. So we will have to take a look and see how much would that affect the tourism, and therefore any impact that could have in the flight availabilities next year. I hope not, but it's something to keep an eye on. And in terms of future projects, again, many things are happening. We know it's a challenging time, but we as at CRES, we have decided to keep moving in the best way we can with projects that were in our heads, that were in the paper, and or some of them were still things that we were working on. And so we expect next year to launch. This is more like an internal achievement, and I would say, to have a new core software, as you might imagine, dealing with all of your orders and all of these many breeders and all of the different species cannot be done manually. So we do have a software that keep us tight in terms of preparing the orders, preparing the invoices, and all of that. So we expect to replace the software. The one that we have was something that we did a few years already ago. And so now we expect to complete a project that we have been investing our energy for the last 2 years. And we hope that this will give us better information from the breeders in terms of quality and production levels and stability. And it will also help us to customize your orders, have better statistics. And at some point from here, with this new software, we expect to give you more features as customers. So we'll stay tuned for that. And the second is the consolidation of the new packing system. Some of you have provided very valuable feedback about the new packing system that is let's say, more sustainable, more eco-friendly, and we still expect to do more adjustments to the packing. We know that there are some still challenges as part of the implementation of the project, so we do hope to keep working on this so that we can reduce the packaging size and also keep preserving the quality of the pupae. Then to do another country-wide tour in 2022, as I said, it's hard not to get back to those visits to the breeders, so we hope we can do it. And not last but not least, the Wings of Metamorphosis project. This is something that we feel proud that we were really taking back a lot of action in 2019 with projects with our communities. You can see in the top two pictures were pictures with our community. We brought kids back to the office so that they could see what we do and get them passionate about butterflies, and not only about butterflies, but the overall importance of nature. Then you can see on the top right the soccer team of the community that, as you know, soccer is a big team here, big sports in Costa Rica, and we wanted to help them. And so we donated a whole new uniform for them, and it was a very nice activity, and we were going to monitor their progress. And we do hope that they had to stop playing, but we do know how important it is for these young kids to have something to do, something to play, and especially soccer, and develop themselves. And so we hope that in the coming months, we can see them playing with that new uniform. In fact, this happened in February of 2020. Just we gave the uniform and the whole pandemic hit. So that was very sad, but it is what it is. And the last two pictures, one about the project that we were running with the hospital, one of the major hospitals here in San Jose, where we launch or we co-help develop a butterfly house, something that people were very excited to have in a hospital, clearly by the symbolism of butterflies, the freedom, and the whole transformation, right, that is needs to happen when you're dealing with a health issue. So it was something very powerful, and we hope that we can use it and keep working with them, because also the pandemic affected the space and the people that had to be involved so that the space was used by the patients of the hospital. And last but not least, something that happened last week, we are working with a school, with a high school here in Costa Rica that is pushing or presenting a project so that the blue morpho can become one of the national symbols of Costa Rica. Costa Rica has over 16 symbols, if I'm not mistaken, including lots of birds, the coffee, the sloth was the most recent one that was added. But now this is something that came out of the passion of some students to promote the blue morpho as another symbol. and they invited us to be part of the committee preparing the documentation for that project. We felt very proud and happy to assist. And so we hope that in the coming months we can get some news and share it with all of you. So I think that that's the update I wanted to give, guys. Again, lots of things happening, but I hope that you can get a better idea on what is happening here in Costa Rica, and especially with CRES. And this video is something that I feel reflects the essence of what we do and why we do it. And I hope that you guys can also identify with it. And do not forget why this is so important to keep moving forward, no matter what we are dealing with, the challenges we have in front of us. I hope we can just position ourselves, you as exhibitors and we as suppliers, in the best way possible, and try to keep this activity alive. We know how important it is, and I hope that we can all continue to partner together so that this dream that we are doing together can continue for many years to come. So thank you very much, and I'll be sharing this video with you.
Por observación yo me iba al monte y yo las veía poniendo, esta pone aquí. Entonces recolectaba las semillas y hacía los almacigales y así los venía poniendo.
Me recuerdo bien que estábamos ordeñando una vez y había un tarro de leche. Pasó una vaca y botó el tarro, una vaca que venía de la calle, y nunca apareció el dueño. Pues como a los 6 meses la vendimos y con esa plata hicimos el primer mariposario.
Yo escucho muchas personas que les estresa mucho el trabajo, ¿verdad? Entonces es porque tal vez no les gusta el trabajo. Entonces uno tiene que gustarle lo que hace para sentir que no es trabajo, sino algo que a uno le gusta.
Con las mariposas nos ha logrado mantener nosotros y también nos dio para adquirir terrenos que hoy en día fueran talados en potreros. Gracias a Dios se mantienen en Montaña Virgen, donde existen esa gran cantidad de animales.
Sexa todos los años ha comprado más y nosotros hemos estado ahí de la mano.
El producto va siempre fresquito porque al exportar 2 o 3 veces por semana es bueno.
Yo empecé con algo muy pequeño y durante los años de estar aquí he podido ir comprando y comprando pedacitos de terreno y a la misma vez he ido reforestando. Se puede ver a vuelta redonda cómo va haciendo un oasis este lugar, ¿verdad? Para los animales y para las aves y para todo.
Tal vez ahorita ya salga el sol, para que salgan más mariposas, ¿verdad?